Ladies and gentlemen, this is how to get started with YouTube and, for instance, Spring Boot. It is how to obtain a key. Of course, you can use any programming language that you want to, where you want to go to the API. That's a really, really easy to use REST API that YouTube are exposing. But to begin with, if you want to use the API, you need an API key, and the way to do that is to go to Console, Cloud, Google, and then if you don't have a project already, then you will press New Project up here. I already have a project, so I'll just run on my own, my already existing Mike's Demo 2023 project. I should have named it something else, but that's another story. So, and then you go to the APIs and services. So that means that you would actually search for, you have your menu right here, then you would say APIs and services. You write that in the search box right here, then you go to APIs and services, and then you would go to library, and here you can then search for YouTube Data API version 3. YouTube Data API version 3. You press that one, then you get this cool icon. You press the icon, and then you will have a enable button right here, enable API. I've already enabled it, so I don't have that button right now. I have managed it instead. So that is step one. When you have done that, then you're halfway through. So then the next thing that you would do is that then you would actually go to APIs and services, and then you will press the credentials button right here. And again, if you don't know how to find it, if you don't know how to navigate to it, then again you can just press back because I was already there. But you can also go and search out here APIs and services, and then you end up here. Then you can press the credentials button in the left side, and here you can create a new credentials right here. You can see I've actually already created one YouTube key right here, but we'll just create another one, and it's made for YouTube Data API version 3. Do not share your key with anyone, because then it can call YouTube with your key. So here you will press create new key, and then I'll give it some cool name, a good name, and then you will just say, just shorten this a little bit, and then you will find the API that you need to use, and then you write YouTube Data API version 3. You will check that one off, press OK, and then you will say, you don't need to check the authenticate API calls through a service account. You don't need that. You need that if you're using the Vertex API, but that's a whole other story. But if you want to use Vertex AI, then you have to call through a service account. But you don't have to do that for YouTube. Then you press create. You can also apply some restrictions if you want to say that it can only be used from an iOS app or Android app. But for now, just say none, because then we can use it for our Spring Boot application. Of course, you can also use it for any project that you like, because it is a REST API. So that means that, and then you got your key right here, and don't worry, I'll delete this key after when the video is done. And that means that whenever you are calling the YouTube REST API, then you need to add the key equal to API key in your Chrome parameters. So that means that my recommendation is that you place this key in as an environment variable, so you can replace it from the environment variables right here. So now I'll press close, and I'm just going to delete the key, because if you forget it, then you can actually see it again, and that's actually a quite nice feature. If you're using something like Asia, for instance, then you would know that those keys, you can only see those keys once. For security reasons, then you will have to create a new key instead. But it's actually nice that you can see the key if you forgot it. So now I'm going to delete the. Okay, I can still restore 30 days after if I want to, but I'm just going to delete the key right now, because I already have a YouTube key. So that's actually it. Then you're done, and now you have your key. But Mike, can we see some code? That's the fun part, right? Yes, let us see some code. The first thing you might want to get is the ID for your channel. So I have created a service to get that. So first of all, you have these three variables right here in your Spring Boot project. So you have the API key, which equals to the environment variable. Then I have the name of my channel, and then I also have the channel ID already. It's because I'm using this in my unit test. But to begin with, of course, I did not have the ID. Then I could just get it from the name. So how did you do that, Mike? Show us your magic. Okay, here we have it, YouTube channel service right here. This is our service, and what it does, it actually builds up a YouTube search URL, and there's actually a really good documentation on how to use the YouTube API. which I will just, I think I closed the tab actually. Okay, but let me see if I can just find it again. YouTube API documentation. So here we have the API. So this is how to list videos, and then they actually give these good examples right here. What I'm using right now, that is the search API, where I can search through channels. So let me just show that. I'll just remove these tabs right here. But it's quite easy to get some good documentation on it right here. But I have the YouTube search URL, which I placed up here. You could also choose to add that as a variable in your application properties file instead. And then we are building the URI, and we are then getting some data out. And I have created some records that matches the response. So that's why it's actually type safe right here. And those records, those are just it's just a private record. It's just records inside the class that I have right here, because then it's type safe, and then it's easy to get out the ID. So what I actually do is you always get a list returned, because you are searching with a channel name, and there could be more than one result. Of course, you can just set the result to 1. But in this situation right here, you could get multiple. And what I do here right here is I filter out the null values and all that. And the channel name, it should match the channel title. If it does that, then we will do a find first. And then when we found first, then we will actually return the whole. Then we will return this. We will map it to an ID. So we say here filter, and we say map to channel ID, find first, and then we have that. If there was no, or else we will actually throw an exception if there are no channels found with that name. So that's how that one was run, that was made. And if I run it now, then I should be able to get my ID, and then I test that ID actually matches this. And of course, I should use the configuration instead. So we will assert that it is equal to the channel ID that we have in the configuration. And yeah, so that's actually it. It's we call that REST endpoint with REST template, and it's quite easy, and it's a nice API to work with it, because it's well documented, and also the error messages are quite nice. If you forgot to apply to give your API key, then it'll say, hey, you're not authorized, so please give us an API key. How did you map the properties from your configuration, from your application.properties file? I did that with configuration properties. So I made this YouTube configuration properties, and of course, this should have been lowercase tube right here. YouTube configuration properties, and then I say that I want to take everything that starts with YouTube API from the application.properties file, and then I want to map that to these fields right here. Every time we have camel case in Java, then in your application.properties file, then you would have dashes instead. Kebab case, I guess. Yeah. So that's actually it. That's how to get your API key, and also how to use it in your Spring Boot application. The REST template is configured. I have this configure right here. So I'm actually creating a bean right here. That is because if I want to set up some special properties on my REST template, let's say how it should treat how it should treat missing property values and stuff like that, then I can actually set those configuration settings in my REST template right here. So that's why I'm configuring it right now. Of course, I could just have created a new instance that would be the same. Thank you very much for all of your comments. Thank you very much for your likes, and thank you very much for watching this video. And most of all, thank you for being who you are. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.